The movie begins with a family of three having dinner: Erik and his parents. Erik, lost in thought, is slapped by his stepfather. His stepfather beats him daily after dinner, while his mother passively ignores it. The next scene shows Erik violently attacking a man on the street, which leads to him being summoned to the principal's office. The principal is shocked by Erik's behavior, but it is revealed that Erik is actually a good student academically, even though he is known for his aggression in the hallways. Some teachers defend him despite his violent actions. The principal calls Erik evil and suggests that he needs a good beating. Erik's father died years ago, and his mother remarried a seemingly sadistic man. The family is in the process of selling Erik's father's house, with the lawyer being a family friend. The lawyer takes Erik aside and questions him about various theft and violence cases he's been involved in, but none were ever legally proven. Erik's mother tells him that they are sending him to a boarding school, urging him to finish his education without causing trouble. At St. Johnsburg, Erik sees the school as his last chance to avoid further trouble. He tries to abandon his violent tendencies. The school is large, made up of several impressive buildings. Upon arrival, Otto Silverheim gives Erik a quick tour before taking him to his room, where Erik meets his roommate Pierre Tange. Pierre is a quiet, studious boy who stays in his room, reading books rather than engaging in sports. He comes from a wealthy family. The two bond over a movie and later go to dinner, where Erik faces unfamiliar customs, including saying a prayer before eating. At dinner, Erik meets Johan, a classmate, and notices that students are seated according to their social rank. Discipline is strict, and students enforce the rules. One student is punished for using bad language by being made to stand and get hit in the head. Teachers do not intervene, and it becomes clear that the student council runs the school. After dinner, Pierre shares some cigarettes he had hidden and explains the school's punishment system. Erik tells him he wants to try and stay out of trouble, as his mother asked him to finish school. The next day, Erik accidentally swears while talking to Johan, and a senior student demands punishment. Erik refuses to apologize, and he is given the choice of immediate punishment or detention for the weekend. He chooses detention, while Johan receives punishment right away. Later, Erik goes to the school pool but is told he can't swim unless he's part of the team. He impresses the other swimmers with his ability and joins the team. Pierre warns him to keep a low profile and not draw attention to himself. However, things take a turn when Erik is summoned by the senior boarding house. The seniors demand he polish their shoes as punishment, but Erik refuses. They are confused by his defiance. Otto explains that Erik is new and doesn't understand the system. Erik doesn't want to fight, but he also doesn't want to submit. He starts to get along well with Pierre, and before bed, they talk, agreeing that they are friends. The next day, Erik accidentally bumps into a senior named Dahlen, who demands an apology. Erik refuses, which leads to a challenge to the ring, a form of punishment where two senior students beat up one misbehaving student. Erik doesn't want to be beaten, but also doesn't want to be seen as a coward. He calls his mother, and after speaking with her, he decides not to attend the fight, earning the label of rat from the school. Later, senior students raid Erik and Pierre's room, creating chaos. The next day, after swimming, Erik's coach tells him he is a talented swimmer and has the potential to win competitions. However, Erik is summoned by the student council, which lists all his misdeeds and accuses him of being disrespectful for not following the seniors' authority. His first detention is to dig a hole in the rain and fill it back up. Erik grows angry, especially towards Dahlen, but chooses not to retaliate. That night, Erik dines alone and meets Mara, a staff member. They chat, and she is kind to him. Pierre had warned him not to interact with the staff, as it could lead to expulsion. When all the other students leave for the weekend, Erik stays behind due to his punishment. That night, he meets Mara again, and the two go for a walk. They kiss, sharing a romantic moment. Erik later learns that the student council plans to embarrass him. As they begin to torment him, he decides to stand up for himself. That night, they pour toilet water into his room. In retaliation, Erik sneaks into the senior student's room and pours the filthy water onto Otto while he sleeps, making sure there is no proof. Otto, furious the next day, assaults Erik in the dining hall. Mara shouts in distress when she sees Erik being beaten. A teacher steps in, telling the students to stop. Later, Erik and Mara manage to sneak out again and share another kiss. Erik invites her to the upcoming swimming tournament, where he will compete. The day of the swimming competition arrives, and Erik is determined to win. He realizes that in order to win, he must defeat the reigning school champion, who is also the son of the school's biggest donor. Winning the race would make him a bigger target, but his coach insists it is a matter of honor. Erik wins the race, setting new records and humiliating the senior students who sarcastically clap for him. When he returns home, his mother welcomes him, but his stepfather immediately beats him again.